Welcome to the, we have any math majors?
Sorry.
I think this is our, what the hell did I write down? This is our 43rd annual Hall of Fame dinner. For you math majors, we started in 1977, and this is the year 2019. So you subtract 1977 from 2017, and you get 42, but you have to add 1, because we started in 77. You math majors would know that. Now, are there any legal people in the audience? Do we have lawyers, judges, district judges, paralegals?
Everybody's doing legal.
I want to tell a blonde joke. I don't want to offend anybody. And I want to know if it's a question of national security. If I offend the president, sometimes he's blonde, sometimes he's orange, but I'm not going to get a tweet in the middle of my joke. So anyway, and for you people in the back room, I am standing. I asked for one, they didn't have any. I asked for a step stool. I asked for an empty beer case. What you see is what you get. So anyway, welcome. Jimmy, you're up.
Oh, crap.
You're not ready?
No, yeah. Hello, my name is Jim. I have the honor of introducing everyone tonight. Can I just get a quick applause for everyone that's on the board that takes their time every year to put this on and does everything that they need to do to make this happen. Thank you, guys. All right, our first inductee. I will say I had an honor of DJing her wedding and her husband's wedding. It is Diane McHenry and her escort, Larry Hoffman. Inductee number 2 tonight, Lane Baker and escort, Natalie Hanks. Last but not least, inductee Tom Baker Jr. and escort Ann Archaki. All you guys deserve this. I'm going to turn this back over. Let's go, Tom.
All right, thanks everyone for coming. At this time, will we please bow our heads, have a blessing of our food. Our Father in heaven, we give thanks for the pleasure of gathering together for this occasion. We give thanks for this food prepared by your loving hands. We give thanks for life, the freedom to enjoy it all, and all other blessings. Amen.
Amen.
At this time, I'd like to have Mike Coyle, State Director, please light the center candle. Could we please have a moment of silence for all our departed Hall of Fame members? May their souls and the souls of others rest in peace.
Amen.
Amen.
Folks, I wouldn't normally do this. This is a public service announcement, or it's actually a personal announcement. On October the 25th, 1969, my wife and I got married. So if you do the math, on October 25th, 2019, we were married for 50 years. Some of them were good years, too. And if you want to know the secret of our success, I'm here, and my wife is way back there. And if I don't look 50 years married or whatever, I don't look to be that old, I want it known on the record that I was a boy toy. I was a boy toy. So to my wife, I love you more today than I did 50 years ago. God bless you for putting up with me. And I know you hate this kind of stuff. Dot, would you stand? Thank you very much. At the same time, I would like, oh God, my God, I went brain dead. I would like the Barnes table to stand. I would like the Barnes table to stand. Come on, guys. That has to be our tallest table. Stand up, Mary Lou. Anyway, okay, now let's get a more serious note. I would like all our veterans to stand. This is November, and we just celebrated Veterans Day. God bless our veterans. Are you ready, Tom?
Sure, Mike.
I think I did enough damage.
Whenever you're done.
I'm done. I'm done. Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Mike. I have no blonde jokes. Yeah, none. Yeah. Nope, don't have any of them either.
You're not going there, right?
No, we're not going there. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Western Crawford County Annual Hall of Fame Honors Dinner. At this time, this is the last call for Chinese auction. So whoever wants to get some Chinese auction tickets, please do. Also, we're doing a meat raffle at this time, and we'd like to get rid of it tonight. And we would draw tonight, whoever wins, $500 for first place, $250 for second place to Milady's Meat. There's a lady back there that's got her hand up. She's got all kinds of meat raffle tickets. If everybody bought just a couple more, we'll get. There's not many left. We can get rid of them. We'd have the drawing tonight. So if you guys could help us out, we'd be more than willing to say thank you and draw it tonight. Congratulations to all the new Hall of Fame inductees and the honorary bowlers, as well as our junior bowlers. A special thanks to Walter Ray Williams Jr., our guest speaker, and to Mike Mudger, our master of ceremonies. Mike does a great job, and we appreciate him. Please give Mike a round of applause. Just to let everybody know, your association's been very busy once again this year. We moved our county tournament, as most of you know, to the beginning of the year to avoid the state tournament, nationals, and people that insist that they must go play golf instead of going bowling. So, Mr. Dillon, we moved the county tournament up. Did you come and bowl the county tournament? No. Yeah, maybe next year. Yeah. So this year I'm advertising it now. The first 2 weeks in November will be our county tournament. So all the golfers can come and bowl. First 2 weeks in November, Lakeside Lanes will have the team event, all you Conneaut Lake bowlers, but you'll have to drive to Cambridge Springs to bowl singles and doubles. All right. So we'll be willing to accept all you Conneaut Lake bowlers, and please come and join us. And we will be out to see you at Conneaut Lake. Also, the participation was down, but I know it's because we moved it. We are going to do some things different. There'll be less shifts for the singles and doubles to get them built up, but come join us next year. We've had a successful awards program. It's in place. Examples of our awards as you came in the front door are where our awards are. We have some really nice awards that we're giving to you bowlers. We had a successful officers training in August. We're planning on doing another one. That's where we invited our secretaries and presidents. They came in. My wife put on a very good presentation. Hopefully they learned a lot. It's good information to all our secretaries and presidents. So we will do that again this year. I'd like to thank all of my board members who helped with this banquet and support me throughout the whole year. My job is made very easy by these great people that are behind me. At this time, I'm going to embarrass all of them. And as I announce their name, I would like them to please stand up and remain standing until the list is complete. Myself as president, Stacy Dotson, Hall of Fame committee, and she's the first vice, I apologize. Stacy did a great job at organizing this, seat arrangements, got the meal. I hope everybody enjoyed the meal. I thought it was very good. So kudos to Stacy. Thank you. Great job again. Vicki Heim, second vice president. She runs most of our tournaments. She ran a very successful 369 with Walter Ray today. We had 24 individuals that came and participated, had a fantastic time. Walter was really accommodating, very easy to talk to, and I think everybody that was there had a really fun time. She also runs the team event for the county tournament, the mixed tournament, and the jamboree. So thank you, Vicki. Great job. Third Vice President, Ann Archaki. She is the person behind the president, does all his hard work, all the computer stuff, and puts up with me. So thank you, honey. Yeah, what a woman. Sergeant of Arms is Christy Wolf. She also did a lot of work with our awards this year on her own time, went to work and did a lot of engraving. Thank you, Christy. Jess Miller is on the board. Sean Smith, he was very instrumental in getting a lot of our Chinese auction prizes this year. He went above and beyond, spent a lot of time out getting Chinese auction prizes. Thank you, Sean. Brandon Wackham. Not that everybody doesn't have a great job in just highlighting the ones. Brandon Wackham on the board. Gary Baker, Ed Hunter, Mr. Ramon Rodriguez. He put together your pamphlet, your program this year with Vicki Heim. The two of them worked diligently on it. We have a very nice program. And as a matter of fact, Plaza Lanes donated the money as a Chinese auction gift to the association for all the printing of that. Thank you, Plaza Lanes. Betty Frasina, Roy Blystone. Yeah. Larry Hoffman, our runner.
Stand up, Larry.
Bruce Heim, the man behind Vicki who helps her with all her tournaments. Thank you, Bruce. Tiffany Graham. Natalie Hanks. Sherry Reese. Nick Archaki, our youth director. And Michelle Rambo Cape. That is our board of directors. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you guys for your service and thanks for all your help. At this time, I'd like to introduce our state directors. At the head table, we have Mike Coyle. And Mr. Bob Durr. Thank you for attending the banquet. I'd like to, at this time, to bring attention to our proprietors. Without these people, this association would not function. These are the backbone of Western Crawford County. Our proprietors, please stand. Lost Lanes, Natalie and Harry Hanks. Lakeside Lanes, Bertie and Bruce Beers, Kelly and Donnie Granda. Cockerton Lanes, they aren't here in attendance, but it's Becky and Keith Seidel. Plaza Lanes, Kurt Baird, Ramon Rodriguez. And we have a new guy running out of Plaza Lanes, the Mike Machugo Next Level Pro Shop, Billy O'Brien. Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate all your help. And we do have some guest proprietors. I believe it's probably their first time that they've been here. From a neighboring association, a neighboring bowling center, where we go down and a lot of our juniors bowl every month. Celebrity Bowl, Joe and Sue Dorton. Thank you for coming. I'd like to thank everybody again from the bottom of my heart for coming to the banquet. After our program starts, that's when we get the inductees going, and Walter will be up here. I realize the restroom is behind me. If you have to go so that it's not having people walk through the program, we can go to the bartender up there. She'll escort us to a restroom on the back side so that we're not tracking people through as we're going through the program. And the last thing I have, but not the least thing, is our tournament winners. This is an honors banquet. So let's honor some of our bowlers that have bowled in our tournaments. If they are here, we'll have them stand. Michelle Cape and Mark Williams were the first annual doubles mixed tournament winner, November 11th, 2018. I know that both of them are here. Yeah, you can stand up. The 5-600 Jamboree and Mysteries doubles tournament was on February 10th, 2019. Joshua Gindi won, and the mystery doubles was Josh Gindi and Joshua Van Sice. The 48th annual women's tournament handicap was March 2nd and 3rd, and 9th and 10th. These are last year's winners if you haven't figured that out. The Team Brewery League was Mary Syria, Dawn Carter, Kim Whitehead, and Laura Miller. Doubles Division number 1, Savannah Custard and Donna Windsor. Doubles Division 2 was Tiffany Graham and Sherry Reese. Singles Division number 1 was Mary Lou Lenhart. Singles Division 2, Elaine Van Gilder. Ellen Van Gilder. Ellen Van Gilder. Ellen. All Events Division, Diane McHenry, and All Events Division 2 was Donna Windsor. Also, we have a special award. It's called the Diane Mudger and All Memorial Award, donated by Christy Wolf in remembrance of her mother, Marilyn Williams. Award given to this bowler that had the highest scratch series bowled in a team event. It was won by Diane McHenry, our newest inductee into the Hall of Fame. The award is going to be given to her by Vicki Hahn. All right, now this year's. Believe me, I'm coming to an end. 73rd Annual Men's County Tournament, April 2019. Team Handicap, Your Mom, which was Mark Orloff, Matt Orloff, John Erdley, and Dan Petrick. That was a team event, handicap, team event scratch, Paranormal, Troy Johnson, Kurt Baird, Natalie Hanks, and Roderick Baird. Doubles handicap was Art Barnes and Raymond Van Gilder. Doubles scratch, Roderick Baird, Troy Johnson. Singles handicap, James Gilbert, our DJ. Single scratch was Roderick Baird. All Events handicap, Art Barnes. All Events scratch, Roderick Baird. Annual Women's County Tournament Handicap, November 2019. Team was Classic Ladies, which was Margaret Thompson, Karen Stedman, Ellen Van Gilder, and Vicki Heim. Doubles was Tiffany Graham and Sherry Reese. Singles, Tiffany Graham. All events, Tiffany Graham. All right, and the special award, the Diane Mudger Award, which I read earlier, was won this year by no less than Vicky Heim for a 789 in team event. Of course, that was with her handicap. Very good bowling, Vicky. All right, this year's tournament for the men, team handicap, once again, your mom. Once again, Mark Orloff, Matt Orloff, John Erdley, and Ken Major. Team scratch was the Cockerton Crushers, which some of these guys are here. Brian Williams, Lee Duck, Chad Robinson, and Tyler Barnes. Doubles handicap was myself and Jeff Keener. Double scratch, Tyler Barnes, Ryan Williams. Singles handicap, Dave Riley. Singles scratch, Brandon Wacom. All events handicap, John Erdley, and all events scratch, Lee Duck. All right, if you want to hold your applause, I have the 300 games for this past year, 2018 and 19. They are Roderick Baird, Tyler Barnes, John Burnell, Savannah Custard, Lee Duck, Nate Frolick, Daniel Francis, Donald Granda Jr., Jerry Grinnell, Harry Hanks, Brian Huth, Aaron Kryzon, James Lynn, Gary McGranahan, Brian Nichols, Sean Smith, Zachary Snyder, Ryan Williams. You can give them all a round of applause. And the 800s are Don Eaton Sr., Daniel Francis, and this guy broke our county record with an 800 last year at Lakeside Lanes. Mr. 800, Mr. 300, Donald Granda Jr. Give all those three a round of applause. Thank you very much for your patience. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and congratulations to all our inductees.
Prior to our induction ceremony, I would like all of our past inductees to please stand. These are the best bowlers in Western Crawford County. Several years ago, we started an award called the Lyle R. Williams Award. Lyle was instrumental in our association. Lyle was an unbelievable individual, hardworking, down to earth, praised everyone, was very diligent when he was on the board, and Lyle has since passed away, but he said that was the greatest honor he ever received, was to name an award after him. And the Lyle R. Williams Award is dedicated to anyone for the love and support of the sport of bowling. And for example, our first recipient was George Richardson Sr. I think George is now dead also, but George lost his fingers in a chainsaw accident, and George took it upon himself to go into the bowling alley, and he learned to bowl left-handed. Other past recipients were Ray Hauser. If you know Ray Hauser was clinically dead at Plaza Lanes, and if it wasn't for some nurses in the women's league, Ray would have not survived. Ray had a massive heart attack. They brought him back, and Ray came back to bowling. Gary McCall was born with a club foot, but Gary he loved to bowl. And a lot of you know Tom Young. Tom Young was a victim of an industrial accident. Unfortunately, Tom passed away, waiting for a heart transplant. And this year's recipient is Dave Riley. Dave Riley has lost 2 wives. He's had both of his hips replaced and 1 knee. Now, you know, we all go into the bowling alley with aches and pains, and sometimes we don't really want to bowl. But these people have gone to the lanes, you know, and Lord knows they've had their problems, but they love the sport. And I think in a lot of ways, the sport's what's kept them going. So Dave Riley. Dave still bowls today. You're welcome to say a few words. Thank you, Dave. Is it induction time? Okay, one more housekeeping issue. Jimmy Hunter. Jimmy Hunter writes for the Tribune, and he gives us unbelievable support. And I think it's a real honor when non-bowlers read your column. And Jimmy Hunter has a number of fans who are non-bowlers that look forward to Thursday morning and reading Jimmy Hunter's columns in the Meadville Tribune. Jimmy, stand up. And I would be remiss if I did not thank Armstrong Cable. Lord knows why they filmed this thing. I reserve editing rights. And on a rare occasion, when you have insomnia in the middle of the night, you might find it on Channel 13. They will replay this thing too many times. But thank you, Armstrong Cable. Diane was born on January the 8th, 1972. She currently resides at 21835 Blooming Valley Road in Meadville, PA, with her wife, with her husband. Edit that out, please. With her husband, Mike. Diane has been in organized bowling for over 20 years. She has a career high average of 195, obtained while bowling on the all-girls team in the highly competitive Merchants Scratch League at Plaza Lanes. Her highest series is 767, bowled in the Merchants League in 2011. Her games were 233, 297, and 237. She also bowled a 298 game in the state tournament in Lancaster, PA, in 2004. She has also competed in many local, regional, and state tournaments. Diane has also served on the board of the local association and has held many league offices. Diane?
Hi, good evening. I did not write a speech. If anybody asked, I did not do it. Short, sweet, to the heart, from the heart. I'd like to thank both Lane and Tom for being inducted as well. I'd like to thank Walter Ray for coming, and thank you all for coming tonight and supporting us and celebrating in our induction. My mom has been great. She supported me throughout all my years. My husband as well, he's always been there. I've been able to bowl with so many different people. I've had the honors to bowl with so many different people, so many great people that are on these walls. And I just can't imagine going through and not being able to bowl with them. So thank you all. I appreciate it. Short and sweet. Short and sweet.
Diane, this is a plaque. God, I love this plaque. It's an outline of the state of Pennsylvania. Western Crawford County Bowling Association Hall of Fame, Diane McHenry, November the 16th, 2019. And a ring.
Thank you.
And from the state, Mike Coyle.
Diane, congratulations on your induction into the Hall of Fame. We have a certificate here to commemorate your induction, and I will read it to you. And now the 16th day of November in the year of our Lord 2019, whereas Diane McHenry has made significant contributions to and achieved much in the sport of American 10-pin bowling in the Western Crawford County USBC Association, and whereas, as a result of these contributions and achievements, said Diane McHenry has been recognized by her peers of being worthy of induction into the Western Crawford County USBC Association Hall of Fame. Now, therefore, the officers and directors of the Pennsylvania State USBC Association, themselves and on behalf of the bowlers of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania they represent, do proudly recognize and congratulate Diane McHenry. Signed, Donald W. Swartz, President, Pennsylvania State USBC. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mike. Congratulations, Diane. Hey, I'd like Ramon and Kurt to stand up. They are our best dressed. I guess us bowlers clean up pretty good when we want to. They're our best dressed duo. They make the rest of us look bad. And Ramon, to you, I understand you're not much of a bowler, but you're surrounded by, you know, in the Baird family, you better take lessons, or you own a bowling alley, fella. You better burn the midnight oil. And I would be remiss if I didn't recognize. What did I miss? Oh. And I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize Rodney Baird. Rod's here tonight, and he goes back, not the original group, but not too far from it. So Rod's been a member of this association, and he's probably, him and Bill Brooks are probably the oldest living members of our Hall of Fame, and maybe our whole association. But Rod's back there, and if he stands, fine. But I respect him immensely. Thank you, Rod. Rod could tell you some stories, but I know he bowled in over 50 national bowling tournaments. 58. No, that was my score. Lane Baker was born on November the 12th, 1962. He currently resides at 414 Center Street in Conneautville, PA, with his wife, Terry. They have 2 children, Casey and Kristen. Lane has been in organized bowling for 40 years. He has a career high average of 227 obtained while bowling in the Wednesday nighters at Lakeside Lanes. His highest series is 812, one of 2 800 series to his name. He also has 10 career 300s, 4 298s, and 5 299s. He has also competed in many local, regional, and state tournaments. On his 812, Lane nearly shot 2 300 games. His games were 300, 213, 299, leaving a solid 10-pin on his last ball. Lane was a 4-sport athlete in high school and is currently a teacher and coach in the Titusville School District. Lane?
Thank you, Mike. Just a few comments. I'd like to congratulate Diane and Tom also for getting elected this year. I was hoping to make my speech short too. Have a little more than Diane though, so I think. But I said I would keep it shorter than Scott's last year, so I think we're good. Right. I tried to print out a long one, but the printer ran out of paper, so I think we'll be okay. Right. I started bowling when I was younger at Eastside Lanes with Zeke Stewart on the weekends for something to do. Didn't get a lot of bowling in throughout my high school years. Ended up at Slippery Rock playing baseball. Decided I'd take a bowling class one weekend, or for one semester, and thought that would be an easy thing to do. Till I found out in January it was about a mile from campus and you had to walk to the bowling alley. So I decided a couple weeks in, the professor decided he wanted to change my approach. And I told him, you know, I bowled it quite a few years and I think I do okay. So I made him a bet 3 weeks into the college, and I said, I'll bet you I can beat you head up, and if I do, I get an A for the course and I'm done. If I lose, I'll come and help you the rest of the semester with another one of your classes. He didn't know that I also have my own equipment at home, other than the alley equipment that I was using there. So I ended up beating him, got an A in the class, and didn't have to go on a mile walk anymore. That was probably one of the highlights of my bowling career way back then. I'd like to thank a lot of people, the Hall of Fame committee, Don Granda for telling me last year, you need to be in, you better go sign up. My good friends, Glenn Dillon, Ron Terry, who's no longer with us. Spent many of nights at Ron's Pro Shop in the garage. My wife would wonder when I was coming home. I was gone for hours, just talking bowling with Ron. If you know Ron, trying to get Ron to quit talking was hard. I rode many nights back and forth to Kings Lanes in Kingsville with Ron and Bill through the smoke screen in the car. But talking with two best bowlers there were in the Crawford County, learned a lot there. I remember going to Kings Lanes and Glenn was wishing that I went hunting that day. I mean, why did you wish I went hunting all day? So he would slow down. He was always trying to give me pointers. I got into coaching a lot, missed some years in there. Came back, decided to take bowling seriously. Was able to hold a 220 average for many years. Enjoy bowling. It's not just the bowling, it's more being with the other people. If you bowl on Wednesday nights with us, we pick on everybody, even Hickernell. I know it's hard to believe. No. More so Allman, you know. But we won't tell that story, Jerry. We'll be okay. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I appreciate the award. Thank you very much.
Laying once again a plaque, Western Crawford County Bowling Association and Shape of State of Pennsylvania Hall of Fame, presented to Lane Baker, November 16th, 2019. And this beautiful, I don't know. Crystal. I hope it's crystal. Lane Baker 2019, WCCBA Hall of Fame. Lane, I hope that's not a 10-pin. Mike?
Lane, on behalf of the Pennsylvania State USBC, I'd like to present you this certificate to commemorate your induction into the Western Crawford County USBC Hall of Fame. And I will read it. Whereas Lane Baker has made significant contributions to and achieved much in the sport of American 10-pin bowling in the Western Crawford County USBC Association, and whereas as a result of these contributions and achievements, said Lane Baker has been recognized by his peers of being worthy of induction into the Western Crawford County USBC Association Hall of Fame. Now, therefore, the officers and directors of the Pennsylvania State USBC Association themselves and on behalf of the bowlers in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania they represent, do proudly recognize and congratulate Lane Baker. Signed, Don W. Swartz, Pennsylvania State USBC Association President. Lane, congratulations.
Okay, if you looked at our inductees, it's Baker, Baker, and McHenry. I think that's like a law firm. Baker, and McHenry. Tom Baker Jr. was born on July 22nd, 1962. He currently resides at 11914 Sanford Avenue in Conneaut Lake, PA. He has 2 children, Corey and Kelly, and 1 grandchild, Macy. Tom has been in organized bowling for 30 years. He has a career high average of 217 obtained while bowling in the National Mixed League at Lakeside Lanes. His highest series is 834, one of 2 800 series to his name. He also has 9 career 300 games and 2 299s. He has also competed in many local, regional, and state tournaments. On his 834, March the 3rd, 2011, Tom shot back-to-back 300 games. Folks, that's 24 strikes in a row. That's how many strikes I have in a season. Maybe 2. Okay, only Walter Hunt, Steve Bailey, Mike Allman, Doug Tabor, and Tom Baker have bowled back-to-back 300 games in our association. Tom?
I haven't been this nervous since last time I went to confession. Okay, Scott Grinnell, I'd like to thank you for writing my speech this year for me.
Who edited it?
This is truly an honor, one that I never could have imagined would happen to me, to be included in the Western Crawford County Bowling Association Hall of Fame that has enshrined so many great bowlers from this area. This is awesome. I'd like to thank the #1 bowling icon of my generation, Mr. Walter Ray Williams, for being here and making this banquet so memorable to all of us. Afterwards, for a small fee, I'll let you take my picture with you. It's pretty cool being inducted with 2 great bowlers like Diane and Elaine. Diane Rhodes was a name that kept showing up in the papers. My son Corey knew her from bowling at the Plaza, but I had no clue who she was. I bowled in a tournament where I finally witnessed her bowling skills. She was a real deal. The girl was smooth and could really throw the rock. Lane, now I've known him for years. No relation, but I'd have no problem admitting he was if we were related. Now earlier tonight he told someone, thank God he wasn't related to me. He's always kicking my butt at golf or bowling. You think he can throw a bowling ball? You should see this guy hit a golf ball. I've bought several of his old drivers off of him, hoping he has some good shots left in them. I'm in need of a new one soon, so let me know what you got. Lane is also so good at sliding in a little valuable tip here and there whenever I need one. He doesn't tell you what you're exactly doing wrong, but he always gives you a little subtle hint that always helps. I guess that's what makes him a good coach. And congratulations, Diane and Elaine. I'd like to thank my mom and dad. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here, literally. Having great parents is priceless. Along with my 3 sisters, we knew what it felt like to grow up in a great family atmosphere. They taught us how to be good people, and I like to think that they accomplished what they set out to teach, at least with my sisters. I never really took up bowling until I was like in my late 20s. Thanks to Sherry Baker, who's a pretty darn good bowler herself. She got me interested in a sport I never really did much of. At first, it was just another reason to go have fun and drink a few beers. Then I had the urge to take it a little more serious by purchasing a fingertip ball, which I had never thrown before. I started to think I was kind of liking this game, but I never thought I was really that good. But I ran into a fellow named Butch Gonzalez. He talked me into subbing the Stewart's Classic League, which is one of few and possibly the only scratch league left in the county. Butch and his wife Paula moved into my neighborhood, and that is when he mentioned subbing for his team. I remember telling him, I ain't that good. And he says, you are that good. He says, you're good enough to bowl with the big dogs. All the Hall of Famers in that league at that time, wow. That was pretty intimidating. But you know what? They were and still are the nicest down-to-earth guys you'd ever want to meet. Some of them. I'd like to thank another Hall of Famer, my Uncle Gary Baker, for believing in me enough to nominate me into the Hall of Fame. Santa has always been a pretty good bowler himself. Only thing better than bowling yourself is watching your kids bowl. My daughter Kelly was a pretty darn good junior bowler. I just need to get her back in after my beautiful little granddaughter Macy gets a little bit older to play the game herself. What mom and dads do, it'll drive the kiddos to do it too. My son Corey, what a bowling talent. He loved the bowling from the time they cut the umbilical cord. That's no exaggeration. We would set up plastic pins at home day after day after day, and he would work on his form. And he was only 2 years old. This kid has been through so much in his life. Just wish I could give my old body to him so he could enjoy the sport he loves. Recently, after I got home from bowling, he asked how I did. I told him I had a 716. He said, "Nice set, Dad. But don't worry, you'll follow it up with a good 500 next week." This is his typical competitive nature I always have to battle. Damn kids anyway, gotta love them. But for real, he is so much better than me. Never thought I'd admit that, huh, Cor? Okay. The people you meet in our bowling community are so amazing. The Lieutenant Walter Ray of Crawford County Bowling Association, Donnie Granda Jr., also known to me as Mr. Boring. I almost fall asleep watching him throw some nights. I'm on his team on Wednesday nights, and whew, boring. Damn left-handers anyway. But he's pretty amazing. The old coach, Bruce Beers. My biggest mistake is not practicing much, but when I do, this guy's always on spot when it comes to watching my tosses. He always notices the little things that I can't see. He's an amazing man. But that's only because his wife Bertie keeps him in line. Some of the other amazing people I've had the pleasure to bowl with. Bill Warner. I think a lot of you remember him. Smoothest bowler I've ever seen. He was a lot of fun to bowl with. Butch Gonzalez, he's my positive influence. Bill Lynn, there's a definition of a true gentleman right there, and a great bowler. Ron Terry, he was a quiet teacher, like Lane was saying, except he talked a lot. Jim Hickernell, most fun guy you'll ever bowl with, and he's really good too. And what are you doing putting Allman at my table tonight? He's supposed to sit with you.
That was me.
You got the short straw. No, Jerry's a good guy. Okay, also. Herman Grinnell. Everybody remembers old Herman. He don't bowl anymore, but he was a great bowler. Ollie and Glenn Dillon, and let's not forget Doug. Doug used to come into the bowling alley. He'd be over next door. He'd come over, and I could hear him as soon as he walked in, and I'm up there bowling. I'm having a pretty good night. Sure enough, Doug says, "Hey, Baker, I'll bet you $1 you can't get a strike." My game went to hell right from there. Always doing it. Warren W. Allsworth. I miss that guy, Mr. Calm. He was such a great guy. Tim McIntyre, just a super guy who can really bowl. So consistent. Jack and Doug Tabor, Joe Belknap, Tom Foister, Jeff Lee. He used to always call me Lucky, and that was well before my back-to-back 300s I threw. Rich Ash, Steve Sweezy, Hank White, who actually convinced me to bowl in my first men's league. Don Eaton, Sonny Rauscher, Doug Dunham, great bowler, and so glad to see Doug back on the lanes, leaving 10 pins again, after having some of the unexpected health issues. Henry Archhockey, his son Tom, who continues to do so much for the Western Crawford County Bowling Association, and before him, Mike Mudger, along with Dick Hart, who have helped make the Western Crawford County Bowling Association one of the best in the state, just to name a few. Then there is the younger guns. Now, the only reason I call them younger guns is because they're my age or a little bit younger. Lane Baker, top of the list. Diane McHenry, Ann Archhockey, Roderick Baird, Shelley Sweezy, Don Granda, Jimmy Hunter, Jimmy Lynn, Dave Zelasco, Scotty Grinnell, again, thanks for the speech. Natalie and Harry Hanks, Jason Eastler, Eric Baum, Josh Dodson, the Parks brothers, Sean and Ryan, the Foister brothers, Todd, Ted, Tyler. I want to be like Mike Allman. That goes back a long ways. Mike used to be a junior bowler, and he would be at Lanes on Friday night, and he was always challenging me. He was just he was still a junior bowler at the time, right? And they played that song, I Want to Be Like Mike, because he was kicking my butt pretty bad. Steve Bailey, Brian Williams, Brian and Chad Beers, Steve King, Brian Williams, Troy Johnson, Art Tyler, Andrew Barnes, a guy I just got to meet this year who seems to be an awesome talent, is Dan Francis. But all these people, I mean, there's so many more out there. I just have, I'm sorry if I missed you, but just like to recognize some of the people I really appreciated bowling with. I bowled the National League mixed couples on Thursday nights at Lakeside for many years. What a bunch of good, fun people we had there. Such a relaxing league. That's the league I had my 2-300s in because it was relaxing. And shortly after that, they presented me with an awesome plaque commemorating my very lucky night. I'll never forget that or them. That was quite an honor. I'd like to mention some of them who were a big part of my bowling family. Meg and John Hilla, Rich and Pam Ferguson, Jerry and Terry Hood, Bruce and Bertie Beers, Deanna and Dave Orr, Carl and Mary Buttre, Jim Courtney and Allison Pyatt, John and Susie Graham, Russ Shirley Bouchot, Larry McQuiston, Bang and Sue Oskin. There's so many more, and I'm sure you're getting tired of hearing me anyhow, so don't be offended if I forgot anyone. I appreciate you all. Let's not forget to mention our future bowlers, kids like Brooklyn Garvey, Nick Archalky, Cooper Baum, Dylan Platts, Austin Granda, to name a few. I'd really like to give a round of applause to the local bowling proprietors that do so many things to help keep our sport alive and well. Don and Bruce, Keith Kurt, and Ramon, Carrie, Natalie. Last, I would like to give a big thank you to Jim Hunter for all the coverage of bowling and softball he does for us in the Meadville area. Nice job, Jimmy. And Renee Lippert for taking my beautiful picture to put on the board over here. I want to thank her, and I want to thank all you for coming and helping us celebrate this amazing honor. Thank you.
Tom, your plaque presented by the Western Crawford County Bowling Association Hall of Fame, presented to Tom Baker Jr., November the 16th, 2019. These suckers are heavy. And a crystal bowling pin.
Thank you, sir.
Mike?
Yes. One more time. Tom, on behalf of the state of Pennsylvania, I'd like to present you with this certificate to commemorate your induction into the Western Crawford County USBC Association Hall of Fame. And now, the 16th day of November in the year of our Lord 2019, whereas Tom Baker Jr. has made significant contributions to and achieved much in the sport of American 10-pin bowling in the Western Crawford County USBC Association, and whereas, as a result of these contributions and achievements, said Tom Baker Jr. has been recognized by his peers of being worthy of induction into the Western Crawford County USBC Association Hall of Fame. Now, therefore, the officers and directors of the Pennsylvania State USBC Association, themselves and on behalf of the bowlers in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania they represent, do proudly recognize and congratulate Tom Baker Jr. Signed, Don W. Swartz, Pennsylvania State USBC Association President. Congratulations. Good evening. Now that the certificates are passed out, once again, I want to congratulate each and every one of you on your induction tonight. The Hall of Fame, to me, is very, very special. I cannot think of a greater accolade in life than to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame says that you have been set above and apart from your peers by your peers. Your life will never be the same. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Now, President Swartz called me about 2 months ago and asked me to come up and deliver these certificates. He acted like he was going to beg for me to come up, but I told him I already have arrangements to be here. Now, somebody asked me a little earlier, is this your first time up here? No, it's not. since imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Now, I'm from Butler, okay? In 1995, we created our Hall of Fame based on the criteria of the Western Crawford County Hall of Fame. In fact, our Butler area USBC Hall of Fame display board was built by none other than Bill Brooks, one of your Hall of Fame members. And Mike mentioned it a little bit earlier. So we've been coming up here a long time. In fact, I will set this to aside. When we first came up, Tom Archaki had hair. Okay. Now to get back to business. The State Association is primarily a tournament organization. This coming spring, the Open Championships tournament is being held in York County. Applications and information can be found on bowlpa.com. At the same time, the Women's Championship tournament will be held in Altoona, just not real far down the road. The mixed tournament next summer will be in the State College area. So we've got some tournaments, coming up. York is a ways to go, but following York, the championship tournament in 2021 will be in Butler. So that's just right down the road. Come down and see me. We'll definitely show you a good time. Ramon, Vicky, I've got to tell you, I don't know if anybody else caught this or not, but there is a typo on your program book. Mike Mudger is not a Toastmaster. He's a roast master.
That's all it is, we're good.
Yeah.
Back and forth, the email between Ramon and I. It's all good.
One other thing that I want to mention, like I said a little earlier, Hall of Fame is very near and dear to my heart. Since the merger of all the associations, including the State Association, we've been working diligently to combine the Halls of Fame, both the Women's State Hall of Fame and the Men's Hall of Fame. Now, the locals here in Western Crawford County, you have it really easy. You bowl with these people, these inductees, on a weekly, monthly basis, whether they're meritorious service, whether they're bowling ability. You know who these people are. At the state level, the people in this audience may very well be eligible and deserving of a state Hall of Fame. But we don't know who they are. You have to make application to the state. Tell us who they are. Last year for our Hall of Fame, we did not have one woman applicant. That's not right. One of the things that we've done and just made an announcement within the last 2 weeks, the State Association Hall of Fame Committee created a separate category. We now have 3 categories: men's bowling ability, the new one, women's bowling ability, and meritorious service. So please, get on our website, bowlpa.com, get the information, submit the applications, because I know for a fact there are people sitting out in this audience who are worthy of that accolade. Thank you very much. Good evening.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Would you please announce if anybody wants to get into the golf package for the bowling ball raffle before we draw it?
Golf package, bowling ball. Tickets are still available for a very short amount of time?
Like 10 minutes.
10 minutes. How did the meet go?
We have 86 tickets still left to sell.
What are they selling for?
$5 a piece.
$5 a
And
piece.
Mike wants 25.
Maybe not 25.
Okay.
How about one?
Don't want one, so you can buy one.
Nick, are you ready? Okay, here's Nick.
You got to raise the microphone 2 feet.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Western Crawford County Bowling Association, thank you for joining us for our annual Hall of Fame Honors Dinner. I'd personally like to welcome who many consider is the greatest bowler of all time. This man holds the record in all-time PBA wins at 47 titles, the record for most PBA Player of the Year awards at 7, and was the first bowler ever to earn 100 PBA wins, the living legend himself, Walter Ray Williams Jr. My name is Nick Archaki, and tonight I have the privilege of recognizing the junior bowlers for their achievements in the sport of bowling. The 6 youth bowlers that are being honored tonight is a night that they will remember for the rest of their lives. It's a night that puts them in the spotlight beside our Hall of Fame inductees, Diane, Lane, and Tom. Hopefully for the youth bowlers that are being honored tonight, they will continue to bowl, work hard, and have aspirations to want to be a WCC USBCBA Hall of Famer. Before I start with the junior honorees, I'd like to recognize one youth bowler for his amazing accomplishments this season, Landon Plyler. Landon is an 11-year-old who shot a high game of 267, which included 11 strikes in that game and a high series of 640 2 weeks ago. Without further ado, here are your 2019 junior honorees. Julia Kingsley. Julia is the daughter of Jason and Barbara Kingsley. She's currently a senior at Cambridge Springs High School and has been bowling for 10 years. Her high game is a 214 with a high series of 504. Her highest yearly average is a 160. Her favorite bowler is Jason Belmonte. Her other accomplishments include qualifying for Pepsi Districts multiple times and bowling on Cambridge Springs High School bowling team for 6 years. Julia's future plans are to attend Edinburgh University and study in a business major. Julia, will you come up here, please? Callum York. Callum unfortunately couldn't attend this evening. He is currently a senior at Cambridge Springs High School and bowls on the Cambridge Springs High School team. Ashley Snyder. Ashley is the daughter of Carla Cassidy and Scott Snyder. She's currently a senior at Meadville Area Senior High School and has been bowling since she was 3 years old. Her high game is a 256 with high series of 595. Her highest yearly average is a 169. Her favorite bowlers are Walter Ray Williams Jr. and Parker Bone III. Go figure. Her other accomplishments include qualifying for Pepsi Districts many times, qualifying for Pepsi States, was a member of the Meadville area bowling team when they won the Van Craw title, and has won many adult junior tournaments. Ashley's future plans are to enroll in the tool and die industry and possibly go to PMI. Ashley, can you come up here, please? Quinn Cameron. Quinn is the son of Glenn and Cheryl Cameron. He is currently a senior at Conneaut Area Senior High School and has been bowling since kindergarten. His high game is a 278 with a high series of 727. His highest yearly average is 214. His favorite bowler is Jason Belmonte. His other accomplishments include being a regional high school bowling qualifier 2 years in a row, a 3-time Pepsi State qualifier, a member of the Conneaut Area High School bowling team, a member of the All-State Vocal Jazz Ensemble, a member of the All-National Honors Mixed Choir, qualified for All-State Band and All-State Chorus 2 years in a row, earned the Outstanding Sophomore Music Award, is a member of the Quarter Tones Barbershop Quartet, who recently qualified for an international competition in Florida next year. Quinn is the only Pennsylvania student to triple qualify for 3 state-level ensembles 2 years in a row. He's a member of the Tri-M Music Honorary and is a member of the National Honor Society. Quinn's future plans are to attend college and major in music. Quinn, can you come up here, please? He just walked away. Just walked away. Austin Granda. Austin is the son of Kelly and Don Granda Jr. He's currently a senior at Meadville Area Senior High School and has been bowling for 15 years. His high game is a 289 with a high series of 726. His highest yearly average is a 186. His favorite bowler is Don Granda Jr. His other accomplishments include 4 700 series, 2019 Stars of Tomorrow Finale Champion, October 2019 Stars of Tomorrow Champion, Lakeside Lanes Adult Junior Champion, qualified for Pepsi District 10 times, and qualified for Pepsi States once. He is also a 3-year varsity soccer player and a 4-year varsity tennis player. Austin's future plans are to attend college and study computer science. Austin, can you come up here, please?
A few words.
2.
And a few words.
Isaac Heim. Isaac, who is also nicknamed Dutchie, is the son of Lisa and Jeff Heim. He's currently a senior at Maplewood High School and has been bowling for 9 years. His high game is a 299 with a high series of 773. His highest yearly average is a 206. His favorite bowler is Ryan Simonelli. His other accomplishments include multiple 700 series, making match play in the Lost Lane Scratch Classic, placing second in Pepsi districts in the U17 division, making Pepsi States twice, qualifying for Junior Gold, and winning the 2019 Vencrow High School Bowling Championship with Cambridge Springs. Isaac's future plans are to attend college, get a degree in computer science or computer engineering, and hopefully bowl collegiately. Isaac is also one of my best friends, is a wonderful teammate of mine. Isaac, can you come up here, please?
I would just like to say thank you to everybody who's made it possible for me to get to this level, especially Natalie and Harry Hanks, and to my parents. Thank you.
This concludes our junior recognitions. Thank you, everyone, and have a great evening.
You want to ring? Yeah.
Maybe.
Thank you, Nick.
You're welcome.
Okay, this gentleman needs no introduction, so I'll be very brief. Walter Ray Williams Jr. is a professional bowler and 6-time world horseshoe champion. He currently holds the record for the most all-time PBA national titles, 47, and the most PBA earnings, over $4.9 million. He also has over 100 combined PBA titles, 7-time PBA Player of the Year, a grad from Cal Poly Pomona in physics, Deadeye, currently resides in Oxford, Florida. He has one daughter, Rebecca. Let's give a warm Western Crawford County welcome to Mr. Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Thanks for inviting me to come out here. It's nice to be up in northeast or northwest Pennsylvania. As you know, they used to have tournaments up in Erie, Pennsylvania, and that was probably the tournament that I had probably one of my most successful runs of tournaments. I believe they had 8 tournaments there over the years, and I made the TV finals out of 7 of them. So it was pretty fun. Not to mention bowling up there. They had the fans around here are just fabulous. They know their bowling. The town knows bowling. The media knows bowling, and it was really a joy to bowl up there. And I was, obviously privileged enough to bowl on TV, but I was telling somebody earlier, the most fun I ever had bowling in a tournament that I did not win was the 1996 tournament when they had the first arena finals. It was something as a bowler, we don't get the huge crowds that other sports get. So you get a few hundred people and that's a good deal, and they're yelling and screaming, which is really nice. But when they had the arena, that was 4,000 people yelling and screaming. It was really electric. And like I said, that was really the most fun I ever had bowling when I didn't win. Now, you have to kind of take that in perspective because, we're out there trying to do the best we can. And, when I didn't win, even though I had a good week and I realized it, I was usually kind of grumpy for a day or two. So, anyway, I'd like to congratulate the Hall of Fame inductees. I knew I was going to forget the names.
Diane, Tom, and Lane.
Lane and Tom. Because I bowled against Tom Baker, the other Tom Baker. But I started out as a horseshoe player. And I remember when I was young, when I was about 7 or 8 years old, my parents actually gave me a little plastic bowling set. And I didn't want to have anything to do with it, which kind of sounds funny. But I wanted to play horseshoes, and when I was 9, my dad finally taught me how to pitch horseshoes. And for whatever reason, and it's hard to explain to people, I went out and practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced, and I got very good. The next year, when I was 10, playing, the family went down to Southern California. I lived in Northern California at the time, and made the 700-mile trip. And they had the qualifying rounds, and the qualifying rounds at that time for the junior class was 50 shoes. And I threw 45 ringers. And that's actually where I got my nickname Deadeye. And I ended up finishing second that year. And I was 10 years old playing against kids 17 and under. The next youngest kid in the top group was 14. And the year after that, went back to New Jersey to win the world tournament. I won the championship, I was 11. And I was the youngest to win it, and I broke the record for high average. And I tournament I averaged 86% ringers. So I used to be really good at horseshoes. People ask me, you still play horseshoes? And I do still play horseshoes. It's my first love. And actually somebody from horseshoes got me into bowling. So I bowled 1 year, and I was like 11, 12. I think I had the high average in the band league, 123. And then I started bowling next year, but I was only 7 in the league, and really didn't bowl a whole lot after that for about 5 years. I was a senior in high school, and they had bowling as a class, and I'm like, I like bowling, let me get in that. So I started bowling. I was averaging about 165, which wasn't bad. And that summer I joined the league. Now, at this time, I just graduated high school, and I'm 17 years old, and I'm already the state men's horseshoe champion. And since I wasn't really into bowling, I didn't realize junior bowling went to like they were 21 or 22. I was already, like I said, the men's state champion. I'd won the junior world championships 3 times. And so the idea, they didn't even think about joining the junior league. I thought it was kind of funny. I had to get my parents' signature to bowl in this league, and whatever. So the next year I'm bowling the league, and I'm averaging about 170. At the time we're living in Northern California, and my parents had moved to Southern California, and I was going to college, and unfortunately I had appendicitis. And now I'm 6'2". When I got out of the hospital the second time, because I actually moved to Southern California after that, I weighed 135 pounds. So I was pretty thin. My appendix ruptured on me and lost a lot of weight. And, anyway, I survived. Here I am. And I didn't really bowl again for about 9 months. So the next fall league, I knew a horseshoe pitcher there, and he worked at one of the bowling centers in Southern California. And so I started bowling again, and averaging about 170, 175. And in January, I think it was 1979, one of the assistant managers comes up to me and says, "You're going to start bowling really well." Well, basically what happened is they started making lanes easier. Now I'm using a hand-me-down black beauty, for those of you old enough to know, because that was a ball. That was one of the balls back there, rubber balls. The plastic balls were also around. They had no urethane ball and obviously no reactive balls. So it's like, okay, if you say so, whatever. I didn't know anything. So I started shooting 600s almost every week. Now I'm getting a little excited. Like, wow, this is kind of fun, I've been watching the guys on bowling, professional bowling for a while, and that was, wow, this is kind of cool, And I actually joined one of the leagues, but it was really late in the season, so I didn't actually get an average. But I brought my average up from 175 to 186, and I actually was averaging 210 in this other league that I didn't finish. That summer I averaged 224 in one league, and the next year I'm bowling a league, and one of the guys on my team is telling me about how he's bowling the PBA regional. And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, I'm better than he is. Of course, he also didn't win the tournament, but he was a competitor. He had bowled regional tournaments. So I started bowling some of the local tournaments in Southern California. They had a lot of scratch tournaments. At that time, I started bowling handicap tournaments, but I was also playing horseshoes. And I was really good at horseshoes. When I was 18, I won the men's World Horseshoe Championship when I was 18. I won the juniors 3 times, and I won the men's 6 times, so technically I'm 9-time World Horseshoe Champion. Wow. I got into bowling, and I'm like, wow, this is kind of fun, because there's a little bit of money I could make. There was very little money in horseshoes. Back then, I kind of won almost every horseshoe tournament I ever played in, and there was a few tournaments that had a little bit of money in them, and I actually got a horseshoe contract with the guy came up to me and says, I want to make some horseshoes, I want to use your name, Deadeye, and put them on horseshoes. So I actually got a few $1,000s every year from that contract. I was living at home, didn't have a girlfriend, didn't spend lots of money, didn't drink, didn't do drugs, didn't smoke, didn't do that stuff. I'm a geek. I got a degree in physics, minor in mathematics. So I was pretty thrifty. Even after my dad kicked me out of the house, I was still able to save money and started bowling local tournaments and getting better, and won my first local tournament when I was in 1982. I actually joined the PBA halfway through college, and like I told somebody earlier, I didn't even know about collegiate bowling, because when I was going to college, I was averaging 170, 175, and it's that's okay, but nothing special. And a couple of years later, I'm averaging well over 200, and I'm starting to bowl local tournaments, and of course it's like, hey, bowling for money, that's not a bad deal. Make a little money doing that. And so I actually joined the PBA. Got a funny story. You're talking about your bowling class. I thought, well, you know what? I could sign up for one of the PE classes in college. It kind of encouraged me to practice a little bit. And I thought, well, okay. Well, that was in the semester starting in January. Well, I'd already joined the PBA. And so I went to bowl a couple of the local tournaments in California. They had one in Northern California, one in Southern California, and one in Las Vegas. Well, I got to take 2 weeks off of school. And I told my teachers and stuff, and they said, okay, no big deal, do your homework and this and that. And so I get back from bowling these 2 tournaments, which I did not bowl well in, and I get back and the PE coach is like, well, okay, you missed a couple weeks, best grade you can get's a B. I'm like, I was bowling PBA tournaments. It's like, nope, the best you can get's a B. I'm like, but I'm a professional bowler. He said, nope, best you can get's a B. Okay, so I dropped out of the class. So finally I get through school, and fortunately I'd actually saved up enough money to put myself on tour, which, considering the circumstances, was kind of remarkable. And I'm thinking about it, okay, I did okay the year before. I bowled 5 tournaments and I made the cut in 2 of them. So I made some decent money doing that. I was bowling regional tournaments, making decent money doing that. Every time I went to a horseshoe tournament, anytime there was any kind of money, I'd won that. So I was like, okay, I had a little money, and I had this little horseshoe endorsement. That kind of helped a little bit. I was saving money. And so I went out on tour, and after 5 weeks, I'd had one check. I'm like, it's not really good. I'm like, well, okay. There's a horseshoe tournament in Houston, because I was down in Florida. The next one's in St. Louis. And I'm like, I just bowled the tournament in Florida where they had, they used to have qualifier tournaments to get in the tournament. And it was probably going to be the easiest one, the one down in Miami. And I bowled bad, didn't make the cut. Like, really, now the next week in St. Louis, it's going to be like the smallest one. There's going to be like 13 guys making the cut out of 80 or 90 guys going. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So I go to the horseshoe tournament, win that, go to St. Louis, I lead the tournament there, get a check in that tournament. Next tournament's Peoria, Illinois. I make the show. So I was pretty fortunate that that worked out that way, because if I don't start making some money, I might not be here today. Well, seriously, because most guys don't do very well their first year on tour, and I was pretty fortunate that, you know, I had a really good week that kind of helped me, and then later on in the year I made another TV finals. But it's tough out there. A lot of great competition. Fortunately, things worked out well for me. I always contribute my bowling success to horseshoes. For those of you who've ever tried to play horseshoes, underhand arm swing, you got to be accurate. And I think that carried over to my bowling, and learn how to do different things. And bowling to me is not just one thing. You got to do lots of different things. I can play the outside part of the lane, I can play the middle part of the lane, I can play the left part of the lane. And even the last couple of years, I've kind of learned how to bowl two-handed. I'm not great at it, but I'm okay. For those of you who saw me trying to bowl today. But I've been very fortunate, you know, do something I love and make some money at it. I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that. Since I've been on the tour since 1983, so this year actually finished my 37th year on tour. And yes, I still bowl on the tour. And some people will say, do you still bowl? And I go, well, yes, I do. Unfortunately, these kids bowl a lot better than I do. And I'm getting really close to retiring, but I love competition, and I'm a little stubborn, and I'm not ready to quite give up yet. I'm looking at the schedule this next year, and they got tournaments from January till the end of March, and I'm thinking, I'm thinking about bowling them all, I don't know. And then the senior tour will be after that. And fortunately this year I had a really good year on the senior tour. I got the player of the year, won 3 tournaments, so I had a very nice income doing that, but unfortunately I was spending more money on the regular tour. But like I said, I still enjoy it. I don't enjoy finishing the bottom quarter, bottom third of the field, but like I did way too many tournaments this year, but it's still something I enjoy doing. And I was just gonna kind of open up to questions. I don't know if that's kind of normal, but if you guys have any questions, I'll answer them, and hope you guys had a great night here. It was nice meeting most of you. I did sign a bunch of photos that I'd have. If you didn't get one yet, didn't personalize it to you, I do have some extras that have just got my signature. You can have them. If you're not, that's fine. You don't have to have them. But anybody got any questions? No? All right, well, thank you. And you guys have a great time. Nice meeting most of you. And congratulations to you guys.
Thank you all.